I'm male 63, have a daughter, Sarah, 33, from my first marriage, and 2 daughters, young teen and preteen, from my current marriage. My ex and I divorced when Sarah was 1 year old. My ex had full custody, and I had every other weekend. My daughter lived with me for 1 year when she was 16. We were previously close, but that changed after I had my younger daughters. Usually we talk a couple of times a year, each of our birthdays and Christmas. She doesn't call or text for my younger daughter's birthdays and has never shown interest in them. On my birthday last August, she called me and told me she was pregnant. I said, okay, and told her to let me know when she had her scan to reveal the gender. She never did. I called her in December with no answer, and she didn't return my call. In March, I called her mother to find out if my daughter was okay and to ask if she had the baby. Her mother said she did. I was very hurt she hadn't told me. Her birthday was 2 weeks ago. I sent her a text, congratulations. She called the next day, but I didn't answer. A week later, I received an invitation in the mail for her wedding and the christening of the baby. My young teen daughter is very much into gymnastics and does a lot of competitions, and it's important to her that her parents attend. Also, I need to drive her across the country, as my wife doesn't have a license. She has one that coincides with Sarah's wedding, so I texted her that we, my wife and I, kids were not invited, couldn't come, and why. She hasn't answered me, so I think she's mad. So am I the idiot for not going to the wedding? You are the idiot. Did you say okay when she told you she was pregnant with your first grandchild? And you wonder why she didn't call you back. Did you say I'm not coming to your wedding because of my other kids' high school sports competition? Just admit you don't want anything to do with your adult daughter. Be honest with her and let her know to go ahead and cut you out of her life. You absolutely pushed her aside after you had your redo kids. Yeah, he really succeeded in replacing his family. He'll never hear from her again. Also, he says things changed after the younger daughters were born. I think this is where he left some stuff out, notably the age of the current wife. She's probably a similar age to the eldest daughter, maybe a few years older at the most. That might explain a few things. Well, he did text her on her birthday. Father of the Year material? And don't forget, let me know when you have the scan to tell me the gender. Not congratulations. Is there anything I can do? Or do you need anything? Not that's great, honey. Keep me updated with the pregnancy. Nope. All he cared about was the gender of the child. He didn't even ask if the daughter was okay or about the father. You are the idiot, OP, but I can guarantee you that she's not the slightest bit surprised. You completely failed her a long time ago. Why in the world are you just now questioning a parenting decision involving her? I had a dad like you. I'm 31 years old and still cry like a baby the second I allow myself to feel even the slightest bit of that pain. I guarantee you, she's holding a lifetime of pain over you. Do you ever think about that? He doesn't care. This dude had a grandchild and didn't even make an effort to visit him. He just called and got offended that the new mom didn't call herself, and then sends a text saying he isn't going to her wedding. OP, a wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event, whereas your younger daughter has and will have other competitions. The fact that you justified this decision by trying to shift the blame to your daughter shows that she's right to be hesitant about having a close relationship with you. My wife, 35, and I, 35 male, had been together for 10 years, married 5. We grew up completely different. She's the only child of a surgeon father. Her mother died when she was 2, and it was hard on her and her father for most of her life. He remarried when she was 17. He's wealthy, sent her to private school, paid for her college, and when we met a decade ago, he was still paying her rent, even though she had a solid job. I come from a poor family, but we both have pretty good jobs and make the same amount of money now. She is such a daddy's girl, and it's been affecting our relationship. Anytime she wants or needs something, she goes to her dad first. And sometimes it's about things I could help with. I work in tech, and back when we started dating, she was starting grad school, and she asked her dad, "What laptop should I get?" I told her I actually work in the field, which she already knew, and could easily answer that and get her what she needed. And she just kind of shrugged. Okay, fine. These little things have happened throughout the last decade, but there have been bigger issues recently. Last year, she decided she needed a new car. I disagreed. Her car's fine, and she works from home and barely drives. She was adamant, though. She tells me she's getting a new car about a month later. I told her we needed to make these decisions together, and we shared finances, and this was a major purchase. She says, "Oh, my dad's buying it. He said we can just sell mine and get some extra money." I told her it's kind of ridiculous to ask her dad to buy her a brand new car when she has a perfectly good one, and we don't need it anyway. She got upset and said it's not that big of a deal, and her dad didn't mind, and that the car wasn't that expensive anyways. She said I'm overreacting, and that it's okay for her dad to do nice things for her. She got a brand new 2022 car, completely paid for by her dad, and we sold her old one. Now we're buying a new house. We finally narrowed it down to 2 options. We were discussing it last week, and my wife said, "Oh, I don't think house A is good." My dad said he thinks we could do a lot better in our budget. Before she talked to her dad, she loved house A. So I got a bit frustrated and said it didn't matter what her dad thought, because this was our family's home, and he wouldn't be living there. She got angry. We started arguing. We both said mean things. I called her a spoiled brat and said she needed to grow up, and she got upset and slept in a guest room. It's been a few days and we've barely spoken. She said I was so mean to her. You are the idiot. You sound super insecure about her father. Take a moment to reflect on your complaint. She asked her dad for advice on a laptop. You're jealous. That's all there is to it. And it's pathetic. Instead of worrying about her relationship with her father and calling her names, why aren't you using rich father-in-law to your advantage? Like you actually started a fight over her getting a new car that neither of you had to pay for. Just insane. He's complaining that she asked her dad for advice on a laptop 10 years ago. Good grief. It sounds like you want her to take your advice on everything and not her dad's. You need marriage counseling to deal with both of your issues. This is a great way to lose your marriage otherwise. Deal with your issues instead of hurting your wife. You show nothing but mild contempt for your wife here. I disagree. Not the idiot. If the roles were reversed, and this was a man who ran to mommy all the time, there wouldn't be a single "you are the idiot" here. It's not about getting support if they need it. It could be about having a married relationship and feeling like they're both in this together, not them, her dad, or his mommy, in the relationship too. Yes, being mean to your wife isn't nice, but this has been boiling for a while because you're married to her dad's opinion. If you want to keep this marriage, you need counseling. I'm a 42-year-old dad with 2 adult daughters, Jane, 25, and Sarah, 27, from my previous marriage. Recently, I got married again to an amazing woman, 26. We've been together for 3 years and have a sweet little daughter named Lily, toddler. Here's what happened. While cleaning out the attic, I stumbled upon some old toys that belonged to Jane and Sarah from their childhood. These toys were just gathering dust, and I thought giving them to Lily would be a great idea. She absolutely adores her older sisters, and I thought the toys would bring her so much joy. However, things didn't go as expected. Jane and Sarah got upset and hurt when I gave Lily the toys. They felt that these toys held sentimental value and had been expecting to keep them for their future children. I honestly didn't mean to hurt their feelings, and I had no idea these toys were so special to them. I just wanted to see Lily happy, and it didn't cross my mind that there might be any issues with giving her the toys. So now I'm wondering if I messed up and if I'm in the wrong here. Should I have checked with my adult daughters before giving the toys to Lily? I want to maintain a strong relationship with all my kids, but I wonder if I crossed the line. Edit. I had a kid at 15, back in my town. Many people had kids very young and by mistake. Yes, I made a mistake and had my kids at an age I shouldn't have. You are the idiot. You gifted something that was not yours to gift and made it seem like you're replacing your older daughters with your younger ones. You only cared about the youngest, but you forgot your oldest. You took a part of their childhood to give to your new family without asking them. Yes, it can be seen as heartless. Great way to say, my new daughter by my new wife is my real family now. I would be heartbroken beyond repair. It would have cost you nothing to check in with them. It's possible they wouldn't have minded and are only reacting out of hurt now, but you missed the chance to avoid that. OP is now rapturously happy with his new wife and the most wonderful daughter ever, Lily. He's been with his new wife for 6 years, after he left their mother and admitted that she's the same age as his daughters. Why would his daughters mind that he decided to raid their special boxes in the attic for childhood treasures to give to Lily, who surely has no shortage of toys or doting fathers? The resentments are already afoot. Oof. My brother Derek is 27 and has been married to his wife, Sophie, 26, for 2 years, and they have 2 kids, a male toddler and an infant. They never really had much money, and recently they had to move back in with my parents. I also live with my parents and just finished my first year at community college. I'm a 19-year-old female. When my siblings moved out, my parents gave me the master bedroom, but when Derek and Sophie moved in, I moved to a smaller room, and they got the master bedroom. None of that bothered me because they're having a hard time, but Sophie gave me a schedule and said this is her children's daily routine. I asked what she meant, and she said it was for when she was at work. I told Sophie that I wasn't going to watch her kids, and I never said I was. My mom told me that she meant to talk to me about it, and basically, because the class is over and my parents work full-time, I should watch their kids. If Derek or Sophie asked me, I would have said no, because I work part-time in the evening, and I'm really stressed, but they could have at least asked, instead of just assuming I would. Yesterday, Sophie thanked me for watching her kids and left before I could say anything, so I called my best friend and told her that my brother would pay her when he got home. I spent the entire day with my boyfriend. I got a call from my brother yelling at me, saying that I put his kids in danger. My friend's getting an early childhood education degree and babysits regularly, and she's great with kids. When I got home, Derek and Sophie yelled at me, saying that they couldn't afford a babysitter and that I was selfish. I knew that if I just watched the kids, they would do that all summer. My dad agrees with me, but my mom says I could have just watched them. I want everyone to know that my friend was paid. I'd never let her go unpaid, but my brother didn't have the extra money to spare. My friend also knew a little before I left the kids with her, but she knows everything now. My mother's big into gender roles and hates my dad and me for going away from that after my sister's mental breakdown. My brother made a bunch of investments and is in a lot of debt, so they barely have money. I told Sophie she could put them in daycare, but she didn't want to because it would corrupt them. Not the idiot. Go get the list of kids' routines and put the cost of each on it, then give it back to them. Since you guys assume I work for you, here are my rates. And remember, this will only work if you get paid up front. Otherwise, you'll never see a dime. You're absolutely right. They're trying to push you into unwilling free childcare duty all summer for kids who aren't yours. I would not agree, and I would let them know you'll be out of the house all day, every day, so they'd better come up with a paid babysitter to watch their kids or put them in actual childcare, and then make good on your promise and go to the library or a coffee shop every day for at least a week or 2 until they find someone to watch their kids. Not your responsibility. Also, it seems like the guy wasted all his money on investments, gambling with stock, etc., and now has to bite the bullet. Not OP's problem either. They're already getting help living with their parents. You're an adult and deserve respect if your family is one. Your mom made the agreement on your behalf without talking to you, which makes it frustrating for you and for your brother and his wife. Your mom should have told Sophie and Derek that she would ask you and have you contact them about whether you can do it. Your mom is the idiot. Just because you're female and off from school does not make you their servant for the summer. They clearly will not pay you. Your brother and his wife can look for financial daycare help from the government. There are programs out there for situations like these. Maybe they should even do food stamps to help with groceries. Stand your ground and be firm, and get a daytime job. Save up, move out. It won't get better. I, a teen female, went to the wedding of my parents' friend's son. Some background. I've been playing piano my whole life and am frequently asked to play at events. I haven't personally met the groom since I was a baby, and I've never met the bride or her family until the wedding. A few days before the wedding, my parents told me I would be performing a piece on the piano during the reception. I didn't think anything of it because I had previously played at other weddings several times, so I prepared for it, not knowing there was a severe miscommunication coming up. The groom's father, who was my family's friend, met me during the reception and guided me to the piano, where I began to play the piece. I really thought it was totally fine because it seemed the father of the groom had organized the event and coordinated it all with the bride and groom's blessings. However, a bit after I started to play, the bride walked up to me, looking very angry, and demanded I stop. She then blew up at me. She said it was her wedding and her day, and reprimanded me for having the audacity to try to steal the spotlight at her wedding. It became very obvious to me that she was not filled in or informed whatsoever of my playing. I told her I thought I was invited to play, and she said she didn't even know who I was. The groom's father rushed over and tried to explain, but it was clear I had already upset her on such an important day. I really feel so bad. The last thing I wanted to do was ruin her big day. I made this post because I wanted to apologize to her, but my family's telling me not to because she was the idiot for yelling at me. Her words were harsh, but I can understand the frustration because who would want some random girl playing piano at her wedding? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your family's right in telling you not to apologize because you have nothing to apologize for. You were told to play at the event. You were led to the piano by the person you thought organized the event, and you played. You weren't even part of the miscommunication. I understand that a wedding can be stressful, but the bride, not you, made this a bad situation. She could have just let you finish playing, and nobody would have thought anything of it. Instead, she decided to make a scene on her own special day. The bride should stop and think about why a young woman playing a nice tune on the piano made her so insecure. Got a feeling this extends beyond a wedding and deep into some interfamilial scuffles. I think this wasn't informed to the couple, as it was the goal to steal the spotlight, and they used you as a tool to do it. You're sweet for wanting to apologize. Honestly, sounds like a good idea to at least reach out, maybe to the groom. Remember that any insults you might receive aren't deserved, and that you did everything right. Update. Thank you guys for your opinions. It definitely makes me feel less responsible. To be clear, the wedding was paid for almost entirely by the groom's side of the family, according to my parents, which was the impression I was under. I assumed that they were the ones arranging it because they paid for it, and I guess I wrongly assumed the bride was informed. I do hope to reach out to her, but unfortunately, because we're from the groom's side of the acquaintances, I don't know how to get her number, and the adults I ask keep telling me to stay out of it. I was mostly embarrassed and too afraid to defend myself in the moment. I was told to play ambient music the whole time, so I just had some light jazz prepared. It was supposed to be background music for the event, and I didn't get any sort of crowd. I'm pretty sure people just thought I was hired to play. I didn't get paid though, LOL.